3 Russian soldiers held me at gunpoint, while their commander walked around the church looking at everything. Turned out they really liked the position of our bell tower. They placed a sniper there. They moved in here on the 2nd floor.
When the soldiers came here and saw the church was destroyed and the roof was gone, were there any apology, any regret for what they had done?
They didn't care.
While in Ukraine, I heard that Russia's persecution of Christians even targeted the Orthodox Church. This surprised me. I'd always thought of Russia as an Orthodox nation. So I traveled to the village of Bobryk to learn what happened to the priests there when the Russians invaded. So Russia holds itself out to be a Christian nation, an Orthodox nation. Why would they target an Orthodox Church during their invasion?
I do not want to condemn Russians' faith, but a person who blesses a war of occupation is not a believer.
The assault on this sovereign nation has finally come. Columns of Russian armored vehicles rolled across Ukraine's borders.
The missiles are getting closer now. This is Ukraine's darkest day.
Can you take us through the events of March 5th, 2022, when your church was shelled?
The shelling started in the morning. The church was actually their target. There were 2 rocket strikes, which brought the church to the condition you see now. All of the windows were blown out completely, and the ceiling collapsed. In fact, everything that was in the church was destroyed. The town of Bobryk was shelled on March 5th. The occupation began on March 8th.
What happened when the Russian soldiers came into your church?
They came to our church building. There were about 15 of them. They immediately ordered me to let them into the church. First of all, I was terrified. It was all at gunpoint. It was not easy for me. I did not just walk around casually with them like I am with you now. They walked right up to the icons and picked at them with their fingers. You can see here one of the icons was damaged by debris. He came up to this icon and picked at the hole with his finger. Their attitude toward the shrine, the temple, was absolutely dismissive, completely disrespectful to all of it.
We're at the entrance to your village here. Can you describe what it was like for people under Russian occupation?
First of all, we did not feel free. I could not even go from the church house to the church. The sniper was always up there, and he would shoot at us. They were constantly patrolling the streets. They dug trenches and sat in them with machine guns, watching who was going where. They broke things, looted whatever they liked, and just behaved like masters here. They did not come as people. They came as beasts, as authorities.
You shared the story of Father Anthony. What happened to him, and why was his story of suffering so symbolic for you?
Maybe we can find him if he's here. I'll call him and we can pay him a visit. He should tell you about it himself.
On March 8th, they swooped in. We were interrogated. They put me in a chair, tied my legs with tape, tied my hands back, also with tape. My eyes were blindfolded. They said, "Who are you?" I said, "I am the clergyman of this parish." "How can you prove that?" I said, "Ask the people, ask my parishioner." They started to undress me, to check if there were any marks, signs that I'd carried an assault rifle or worn body armor on my back. They started asking, "Where are your troops located? Where is the base?" I said, "How should I know where they are?" I said, "My job is just to pray. I don't know anything about the rest of it. They asked, to which patriarchate? I said, the Moscow Patriarchate. How could that be? I said, that's the way it is. He hit me in the mouth with the butt of his rifle. My teeth fell out. They took no pity on me.
He was stripped completely naked, and they took him from house to house throughout the village, asking everyone who he was. They were simply trying to humiliate and intimidate all of us. These occupiers, they definitely are not Christian. I don't care what they call themselves, especially if we are talking about Moscow's ideology. The ideology of the Russian Orthodox Church. Their ideology is simply Satanism. No more, no less.
Должны держать сухим.
Especially when their patriarch blesses the war or expresses pleasure when missiles hit Ukraine. I'm sorry to say this, but I just can't get my head around it.
What did you hear from church leaders then when the Russians were here or afterwards? What did they say? How did they help?
For 3 weeks, we were under occupation. We didn't get a single call from our church leadership to ask if we had bread, if we had water. Not even a simple, how are you doing? It was like they thought, you are nobody, we are kings. They became interested in Bobryk when our documents were submitted for deregistration in May. And then they were very curious.
While a conflict continues with Russia, the dispute between the two countries is more than territorial. Another issue is religion. Most of the churches in Ukraine have been under the authority of the Russian Orthodox Church for well over 300 years. But now that authority is in dispute.
Now the battle for Ukraine's soul is being fought village by village, where members of the Moscow-aligned clergy are struggling to retain control.
When the question of joining the independent Orthodox Church of Ukraine arose, I brought it to my parishioners immediately after the deoccupation. Either we stay with the occupiers and forever forget that we are Ukrainians, forget our language, our culture, our traditions, and stay under the Moscow Patriarchate, or simply the moment has finally come when we understand that we can be free men, that we can escape this slavery to Moscow, we can escape this Russian slavery. And so in May, we held a meeting and we voted to join the Orthodox Church of Ukraine. The year of 2022 finally pushed us in the right direction.
But in speaking the truth here, what would happen to you if the Russians came back?
It would not be the same as it was the first time. They would simply erase everything here, like what they are doing now in eastern and southern Ukraine. I say the most important thing is that we are alive. We have to stick together. The church can be rebuilt with God's help.